Hey you guys, so before I get into today's video, please make sure you go and support DJ Slice. Go and support his Facebook, Modern Media Services. If you need some beats or you need some recording help, definitely go and support their page. Make sure you like it, make sure you reach out to him, and just show support to Black-owned businesses. Hey you guys, so I wanted to share some really good news with you. So I actually did a past video where I was discussing this ad that had some racial implications at Essex County College. Because of the video and because of so many of you guys reaching out to them complaining, they actually removed the ads from the airport that's located in Newark. So many of you guys helped to contribute to this, and I really thank you guys. You know, when you have a platform, you can use it for good. Really proud about that. I really appreciate Jackie for reaching out to me, and I really thank her. So about 4 days ago, a woman had messaged me with these pictures, and she was sending me these pictures of these white women who are basically in blackface. They are putting on this makeup that is making their skin appear tanned. Even this woman here, she is clearly white, and then she puts on this darker makeup and she low-key looks like Nicki Minaj to me. So these women are doing this, they're putting texturizers in their hair, or they're using those curly wands, and their hair is looking more ethnic, or even their bodies. Okay, their bodies are starting to have the physique of how some Black women's bodies look. Many Black women are just like confused, like, wow, here y'all go stealing our stuff again. They have coined the term now, blackfishing. Something that's very interesting about this whole situation is that the Shade Room has no problem with promoting the dysfunction going on in the Black community, but when situations like this occur where you have white women who are pretending to be something that they're not, to be able to make money and monetize this false image that they're portraying, the Shade Room is silent, because they love to promote people like the Kardashians and those who culturally appropriate our style and make money off of it. And I'm sure there's going to be some of y'all who come along and talk about Black women with the blonde weave. But the thing is, Black women are not able to go on through their lives lying, pretending as if they are passing for white. So for you guys who like to sit up here and try to compare apples to oranges, in this society, like I keep telling you guys, Black women are not afforded the same opportunities wearing their natural hair, who are darker skinned and things like that. They have to go and assimilate, wearing the different colored contacts, wearing these blonde straight weaves. With their skin, they have to bleach it to try to look or appear lighter. Even with doing all that to ourselves, we are not able to go and get $500,000 grants claiming that we're half white and we should be afforded some sort of grant due to our white racial lineage. Now let me explain to you guys why I feel this is very dangerous, and this needs to be a severe warning to Black people. I feel like in the event they ever start talking about reparations, it's kind of like wishful thinking, but in the event it is provided on the table and they do start implementing it and distributing out the reparations to Black, guess who's going to be the first lined up for it? It's not going to be your average Black looking person who you can visibly tell is Black. They're going to start letting people like this, those who are able to simply use makeup, they're probably going to completely throw out the whole lineage system, just like they did with the Native Americans. So I feel like the same is going to happen to us. They will be the first lined up and the first recipients, and when that money runs dry, the actual Black people will be left by the wayside. I actually did a past video about Kendall Jenner and her doing this teased out afro. Now, this is not the first time that Kendall has tried to do the afro thing. She's done it here in a past photo, but in this one, I felt that they tried to throw people off by showing her afro with this sort of Victorian style clothing on so that it would look like she's from the Victorian era, when realistically they stated that they used inspiration for this hairstyle was those women in the 60s and the 70s who used to tease out and puff out their hair. That's a freaking afro. But even as you can see in the picture here, she looks like these women who are blackfishing. This almost looks like a biracial woman who has tan skin with the freckles, and then she has the fro going on. Now some of y'all are saying, oh, this is not a fro, looks like a rat nest or whatever, but y'all are missing the point. It's not about whether it actually looked like a fro. This is the shape, and this is inspired clearly by a fro from what they were saying. And I was trying to warn you guys of stuff like this because I saw it becoming an epidemic when Kendall Jenner did it here. But even before that, you had Rachel Dolezal. So now you're starting to see this trend of women who are visibly white, and they are getting on Instagram and they're getting their lips plumped up. They're adding tint to their skin, or they're completely getting tan skin, and they're starting to add curls in their hair. I mean, even look at this. These women, I don't know if this is a lace front or what, but she looks like a person who is trying to act as if she is half Black or mixed with with something else. And look at her skin. It looks visibly darker than how it looks in this picture. Now, the woman who's in the picture here, her name is Emma Hallberg, and somebody messaged her and they said, "Hey Emma, is it true you're white and just posing as a colored person? Because someone posted your before photos and I have so questioned." Okay. She said, "Yes, I'm white and I've never claimed to be anything else. And by the way, there are no before pictures. The pictures that have been spread are just two different pictures taken on two different seasons of the year, on before summer and one after summer. And of course, there's a difference in my skin tone because I get very tan naturally when I've been posing in the sun. I'm not posing as a colored person as you claim. I've never tried to be or look black. I was born with naturally curly hair and my skin gets very tan in the sun. There's a picture, several of last year and the year before that, where you can see that my tan looks exactly the same after each summer." Now, as we can see here, that's a bold-faced lie. This clearly is a white woman. Her hair is clearly naturally straight, even though there's a bend at the end. You could tell this is a white woman with straight hair. I don't see a kink. I don't see a nap. I don't see none of that bullish in her hair, her roots, the nape, none of that. So for her to try to lie and insult people's intelligence by thinking you're too stupid to put two and two together, you can clearly tell she knew that she was portraying to be a person who was at least half black, and people were following her because she had that mixy look going on. Now let's look at another one. Okay, she did the same exact thing. She's darkening her skin, she's curling up that hair, and she even looks like she appears to have some sort of surgery. So her name is Alicia AB. She said, "Ever since I can remember, I was never happy or satisfied with the way I looked. My body went through so many changes from being very chubby to very skinny. However, I realized that keeping in shape is something I want to do for myself and not to please anyone else. Still on my journey to keeping fit, but the most important lesson I've learned is training your mind is as important as training your body. Also, mental health is still alive tomorrow." Now, she has done a metamorphosis, okay? I don't know what the F this witchcraft is that these women are using, but I just want you to see the complete difference. Now, she goes from almost looking like Amy Winehouse, and look at her now. This is her. She's thick. She looks darker. She has braids in her hair. She looks like she could pass for somebody who's half black. Unless you weren't able to see the before pictures that she posted under her Instagram name, you would have never known that this is the same person. And these women know that they are misleading the public. They just don't feel that people are smart enough to be able to go to their past pictures. Now, some of them were smart enough, they would delete all of their past pictures where they have the photos of them with the straight hair, with the pale skin, with the thinner, slimmer body. But some of them aren't. And, you know, they don't care because they know that their main target audience are going to be black people. They know black people are obsessed with those who look mixed, who look as close away from being black as possible. They love the biracial looking types. We love to see those who have the curly hair, the freckles, the lighter skin, but they have some sort of African features with the thicker lips, or their bodies are very plump and robust. They love to mislead us. And guess what? These women are running all the way to the banks with these IG modeling contracts, and it's going to only increase. Now, a lot of people are mad at this because they feel like, oh, well, they are getting all this Instagram fame off of looking black. No, black women. That's not why you should be mad. And black people in general. This is not why you should be mad. Let me explain to you why you should really be mad, okay? Rachel Dolezal started this trend where people are pretty much considering themselves to be transracial. If they feel they're black, they can go to Walgreens and get them a $3.99 texturizer, put it in their hair and start using perm rods, and they can pretty much say, you know what, I have natural hair, I'm mixed race. Now, when Rachel Dolezal did it, she wanted to go to Howard and she was getting ready to graduate. She ended up getting the Howard scholarship under the false pretenses that she was mixed race or that she was some sort of lighter skinned black woman. She took that scholarship out of the hands of other black people. That is a form of a resource, a scholarship, because you don't have to pay that back as long as you fulfill the contractual obligations of that scholarship. We get to look at people like Anthony E. Lennon, who throughout their life, they know they're white. Okay, he might have a coarse beard. His hair back in the day might have been kind of kinky or whatever, but he said his genes are white. Now, some people might say, oh, his mom lied to him or whatever, but he simply just has a coarse beard now and he has a shaved bald head. This man, off of claiming that he feels he's black, he says he's a born again African, he was able to get funding from this foundation for over 400,000 pounds, which was like over 500,000 US dollar equivalent. Now, he's a director and he self-identifies as Black. And this fund was clearly for people who they quote unquote call minorities, okay? Which is such a dangerous term because when you think of the term minority, those who are Asian, those who call themselves Latinos or whatever, those who are not considered white can fall under the umbrella of a minority. And every other person that is Asian or those who are Native American, every one of those will take precedence over Black people. So the fact that this fund was for quote unquote minorities, okay, either mixed race or Black people, and he knows that he is not under that umbrella whatsoever, he came in and he got basically $500,000 for saying he feels he's Black. You're not Black. You feel that you're Black. And he ran all the way to the bank with that money. I didn't hear anything about him saying he's going to pay it back. And even aside from Anthony, you have so many of these people who are using the $5 Indian tactic. And it's so dangerous because they're taking money directly out of the hands of Black people, but always want to claim and try to say, oh, well, y'all were the recipients of affirmative action. That was total bullcrap, because now it's starting to be a reverse where the resources that are available to Black people, they're coming in and snatching them because they're just claiming, well, I have 4% African in me. But you look at them and they look exactly like a white person. You can't even tell if this man has any sort of African lineage in his blood. So let me tell you about this guy. His name is Ralph Taylor and he's from Linwood. Now, he said he did a DNA test and he discovered that he was 4% African. So that should qualify him for minority business owner status. Now, let me tell you why he wants to do this. He knows himself he is not racially considered mixed race. He is considered white. I'm sure prior to him wanting to start up a business, he identified himself as white. But let me tell you the benefits of being a minority business owner. They consider minority business owners people who are socially disadvantaged, and they define that by a person who is not able to compete in a free enterprise system because they don't have the access to capital or credit, and their abilities to obtaining that is basically incapacitated because those opportunities are diminished for them. So when you consider yourself a minority business status, you got access to private and government contracts. They give you a hand up when you start your business. When they start their businesses under these contracts, they're able to see profit quicker than a person who does not claim that they are a minority business. They pretty much are using taxpayer support to be able to fund their businesses, or even like with Anthony, their development. But actual Black people who need to be able to utilize these funds, etc., they're not giving them these hand-ups. These hand-ups are usually going to these Vietnamese pho restaurants that you see totally monopolizing the market. They're going to these Asians who want these beauty supplies. Granted, I know that they practice wealth building in their communities. It just seems like in other communities, wealth is never destroyed. Wealth is consistently passed on in other communities, but in ours, it's just like wealth can be passed down and then somehow down the line, we end up destroying it by either intermixing with other races of people or by not investing our money strategically. But with these people, they will either pass their funds on to their family, or they just go and they file minority business owner status, and the government will give them all of this funding that they sometimes don't even have to pay back. They don't have to go through the struggles of getting loans for their businesses. So they have all this access to many different benefits that acts as a catalyst for their business. So when you see these little Chinas or little Koreas or little Vietnam going up in your area, you wonder why, dang, how did this business just open and they're already starting to make money hand over fist? Because these government contracts are affording them these resources because they claim minority status. Black women, I understand that you're upset that here it is that these women who are white are starting to look like they're taking men, or they're getting more attention and it's taking away your shine, but you should not really give a F about the Instagram likes, because I mean, that's like a virtual form of validation. I understand that that is a great confidence booster. It causes you to have a high self-esteem that people are giving you all of this attention. And I'm sure it gives major confidence boost to these white women who are like, I'm getting these women's men yet again. And I'm even starting to take mixed race women's men and taking their shine, because all I got to do is go down to the Mac and get me NC30, even though I'm like NC10. And I just got to add this extra tan to my skin, and then I'm gonna go down to the beauty supply and I'm gonna get me a curling wand, and I'm gonna start curling my straight bull-ish up, and then I'm gonna start getting all these Instagram followers. That's really not why you should be mad. I'm telling you, that's like abstract. You should really be mad when these people who simply look like they got a drop of Black in them are able to go in and get grants that they don't have to pay back for $500,000 for something that you naturally are. You don't have to add all this perm rod and texturizing in your hair to look black. You don't have to manipulate your skin tone if you are a darker skinned black woman or whatever to look black, or your lips are naturally full, or you have a naturally broad nose. You don't need to be going out putting toothpicks and all this crap to stretch out your nose to make it look larger than what it is. These people have to do this. And, it wasn't until recently until it was cool to be black. But now all of a sudden that they realize that there's money to be made in this. Now they're starting to capitalize off of it. And meanwhile, us who are actually fitting the criteria, they are looking right past us. And ultimately, we have to blame ourselves, because in the black community, we fetishize people who look like that. We fetishize people and claim everybody is black when realistically, these people are in their own racial category. And I stated the same thing in the video that I did about Anthony E. Lennon. We have to stop placing these people upon pedestals because they're tapping into a market that we rightfully should be able to tap into, but we're not able to because we are giving these people a platform and we're not giving that same platform to one another. So definitely let me know what you feel about blackfishing. Do you feel like it is becoming a dangerous epidemic for black people collectively, or do you feel like it is only an issue for those who are mixed race and that black people don't have anything to be worried about? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you guys in my next